You've probably seen this photograph before, even if you never learned its name. A woman in a pale gown descending a staircase, her face turned away, her feet never touching the steps. It looks like something built in an editing program. It was taken in 1936. The location was Raynham Hall, a centuries-old manor in Norfolk, England. The photographers were Captain Hubert C. Provand and his assistant, Indra Shearer, on assignment for Country Life magazine to document the house's grand staircase. Shearer later said he saw a shape forming on the stairs, glowing faintly, moving downward. He told Provand to take the shot immediately. Provand didn't see anything. He took it anyway. When the plate was developed, the figure was there. Not a smudge, not a blur. A defined, translucent woman, mid-descent, dressed in a style from a much earlier century. Here's where the story should end. The way most ghost photographs end. As a hoax, quietly confessed years later, or a trick of double exposure explained away by a bored technician. But that's not what happened here. The original glass plate negative was examined by Kodak's own technical staff. They looked for a crack in the plate. They looked for evidence of a second exposure layered underneath the first. They found neither. The image sat on a single, unbroken sheet of glass. Harry Price, one of the most prominent psychic investigators of the era, called it the most extraordinary photograph he had ever examined. He wasn't an easy man to convince. He'd spent years exposing fraudulent mediums and staged seances across England, and even he couldn't find the seam. So, what was it? Locals had a name ready before the camera ever arrived. They called her the Brown Lady, said to be Dorothy Walpole, a woman who lived and reportedly died under mysterious circumstances in that same house 200 years earlier. Guests and staff had claimed to see her on that staircase for over a century before Shearer's camera ever pointed that way. Maybe it really was her. Maybe it was static electricity on old film stock, or a chemical flaw too subtle for 1930s equipment to catch. Nobody has ever fully closed the case. What's stranger is what happened next. Nothing. No sequel photograph. No repeat sighting caught on camera again. Not in 90 years of tourists holding phones on that exact staircase, which raises the real question. You live in an age where every hallway, every street, every room is recorded almost constantly. Cameras in pockets, cameras on doorbells, cameras running while nobody's even looking at the screen. And yet, the strangest image anyone has ever captured wasn't taken by accident, on impulse, by a phone. It was taken deliberately by two professionals using equipment we now consider primitive. Maybe the ghost isn't the woman on the stairs. Maybe it's the idea that with all this modern documentation, nothing since has ever come close. You've probably seen this photograph before. You just never knew how hard it was to explain away.